Hi, thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Leslie, and this is my channel where I share about birth, faith, and family. So today I'll be starting a 4-part series on how to achieve a joyful birth experience. Now, at Birth by Faith, we really just focus on bringing peace, love, and joy to every childbirth. That is what I like to do in my role as a doula. That is what I strive to do for my clients. So today I will be sharing tips and tricks that you can use in your own implement during your pregnancy and your birth to have a joyful experience for yourself. Okay, so don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the other parts of the series if you like this video. Okay, we'll dive right in. So this was actually inspired by a couple of articles that I've been reading about how to have a natural birth, but actually I find that these are all applicable in general to how to have a joyful birth experience. And my philosophy about birth is that to have a positive birth experience, we need to overcome fear and build faith for positive birth experiences. It's all about overcoming fear. And so I want to just share a little bit about fear so we can talk about it. So fear is learned. Fear is learned in context. It can be learned either by your own experience, by somebody else's experience, or by some type of instruction. So, for example, you may have had a past birth experience that was unpleasant. Because of that, you may be going into this next pregnancy with some fear. Or you may have heard somebody else's horror story about their really unpleasant birth experience that may also instill fear in you about your upcoming labor. Or third, it may have been some messaging from the world, maybe a care provider, someone you trust has told you to anticipate that oh, you will need an epidural, you will need pain medications, you won't be able to tolerate it. Something along those lines. That kind of instruction to prepare you for something like that can also instill fear around the laboring process. Now, as horrible as that may sound, it's like, okay, Leslie, so you're telling me I can get fear from my own experience, I can acquire fear from somebody else's experience, or just from different instructions that I get, I can start developing fear about this. Like, so far, this has been bad news. Well, that ends right now because I have good news too. Fearlessness is also learned. It can also be gained in that same way. Faith comes by hearing. That's what the word says. Faith comes by hearing. And so it's also learned. It's also learned by what you hear, by what you let into your mind. And that's why my number one tip on how to have a joyful birth experience is to hear empowering birth stories. To hear birth stories that help to encourage you, to hear positive birth experiences, no matter how they happened, where they happened, all the little pieces along the side. No two births are the same, but hearing positive birth experiences helps to believe for a joyful birth experience for yourself. And so that is my number one tip that I want to share with you today. You want to counteract the negative perception, the fear associated with labor, with faith, with positive experiences, with positive words, with affirming statements about and affirming stories about how birth can go the other way. And so how best to do that is to share good stories. So if you have had a positive birth experience, share that. I know sometimes people don't share their it actually says, I studied hospitality. So when we learned about reviews, people are most likely to share a negative review. They're 7 times more likely to share a negative review about a service than they are to share a positive one. And that is because people are not exactly sure what the psychology is behind that, but I do know that it's most definitely true. That's why on Yelp, what you see is a lot of people's negative thoughts, but not as many positive reviews on maybe potential places that you're like, wow, I love this place. I can't believe they got all these bad reviews. Well, you probably didn't take the time to write a positive review, did you? Probably not. And so, because you're like, oh, it was good. I just went on with my life, right? But when it comes to birth, it's that same way. People are way more likely to share if they've had a negative experience than if they had a positive one. I think because so many people share negative stories around birth, Sometimes people don't want to share a positive one because they don't want to make anybody feel bad about the birth experience that they had. But we really need to change the culture around this so that people can start hearing positive birth experiences. And so this week, over the next couple days, the rest of this week, I will be sharing where you can hear positive birth stories. And so I will go ahead and share those over the next couple days. Thanks so much for tuning in. I like to keep my videos short for you, nice little bite-sized pieces of information. So I hope that this was helpful. I hope that this was encouraging to you. And if you want to hear more about how to break with fear and build faith for childbirth, go ahead and check out the link in the description box below, where I share my free 1-hour webinar on how to overcome fear and build faith for the birth that you desire. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video so I can share some of my resources about where you can hear positive birth stories. Okay, take care. God bless you. Bye.